Had a question from Dr. Tom from the UK. Top of the morning to you. It's evening here, but it's the morning. I'm driving back home from my parents' place. Two-part question. Part number one is, if I've had an amazing day in the beginning of the day and I'm just rocking it and I'm on purpose and I just feel like I'm on fire and everything is amazing, and I'm assuming that you're on this high, does it mean that I'm aware of that low that's coming up, and did I manifest the day turning to shit? So if I'm on a high, and I know that a low is coming, did I manifest it? I get that question a lot. And the second part is, if I have an event or an emotional charge that happens, and I know that I'm going to have to be doing an overview on it later, and I have it written down, and I have it on the books here that, okay, I got to get around to doing that overview. I just don't have the time right now. I'm stuck at work, or, I got to get to sleep. I don't have the time to be able to sit and just go ahead and do it. Are there any tips for getting you through that charge just to kind of get by? Two amazing questions. And here we go. The first one is regarding the duality. Now, just know that in every moment, you're having a pleasure and a pain. If you look at a microcosm of a moment, you have a pleasure and a pain, a positive and negative happening in this moment. If you take your entire morning and you are completely 1000% honest, you have a duality of feelings of pleasure and pain throughout the hour, throughout the morning, and throughout an entire day. So if you take a day and you kind of look back on the entire day, in the entire day, you had a balance of pleasure and pain as far as the feelings goes and the internalization goes. Within an hour, within a moment, within a week, within a year, you never escape this duality. Now, if you are on purpose and you are poised and you are present, you're too busy engaged and immersed in the serving or in that moment to notice any emotional charge. When you notice that extreme elation, what you're describing is an elated sense, is a sense of elation, then just make no mistake that it is canceling out a simultaneous depression. It could be the thoughts of how far you've come over the past little while, and the elation of it is matching the depression at that moment. It's wise for you to be aware at every moment what the duality is. So if you're having a rocking day that you had, as you asked me, in the morning, it's wise for you to look to keep your mind in a state of equilibrium. I learned this from Dr. Demartini, to ask the question, what's not going great at this moment in time? Who am I not serving to the best of my ability? Who is really upset with me at this time? And bring your awareness back to center. The second that you can become aware of the duality in each moment, you're now present and you're actually more stable. Now, to those of you who are addicted to support, praise, and dopamine and happiness, this news comes as a pimple popper or a bubble popper of, Nima, why are you being such a bubble popper? My ex-girlfriend used to call me bubble popper all the time, because whenever she was in this elated, manic state, I was always kind of giving her the other side. And she's like, oh, well, Nima, why are you raining on my parade? The people who come to me in a state of depression, I'm always the guy that's, oh, Nima, why are you so positive all the time? So what happens is, if you can become aware at every moment of the drawbacks in that moment, you are poised and stable. And when you are in that high elated state, that manic state, and cocky, self-righteous, I'm so wonderful, and look how great my day is, I'm on purpose and I'm better than others. When you're actually on purpose serving, you don't have time to think that things are so amazing and you are better than others and look how amazing my life is. Look up the word hubris. Hubris is the pride that cometh before the fall. The fall doesn't happen unless there's a pride there to bring you down. And so, does that mean that you can't be happy? No, it means you're human, you're going to experience emotion. But when you find yourself sliding into that happiness, elated type of manic state. I know this goes against many people who haven't done the overview, who have this positive thinking fantasy that if I just think positive thoughts, I'm just going to attract positivity to me, and all I have to do is just remove myself from negativity. This flies in the face of that thinking. It's more of a stable, balanced, poised thinking, because when you're on mission and purpose, you can celebrate the victories and the defeats, but you don't really have the time because you're so immersed. When I'm actually on purpose, and I'm in the moment, I'm not thinking about happiness or sadness. I'm actually on purpose. There's a meaning behind what I'm doing, and it's a cause greater than my own happiness and success. So hopefully that's useful. The second part of that question was, if I don't have time to dissolve my emotions, what can I do to get myself out of the rut? The very first thing that I like to do is to first and foremost dissolve my judgment of my feelings. We live in a world that we're on a day-to-day basis. We're going to get pleasure and we're going to get pain. We're going to get happy. We're going to get sad. But we really are so afraid of negative emotions that when they happen, we do everything we can to get rid of them. We're like, oh my God, I have to overview it right away. I can't really sit in the fire. My suggestion, that's what happens there. My suggestion to you is to actually first and foremost sit in the fire and feel the feelings and ask yourself, this is what I do as a quick kind of like a quick overview. Why should things be exactly as they are at this time? Why should she be upset at me? Why should he have reacted to me at this time the way that he did at the time? So when you're looking for evidence to support why everything should be the way it is at this time, that's the first step towards neutralizing your stressful feelings. Stressful feelings only happen when you're comparing a reality to what you think it should be. Even if you think you should be happy all the time, that's a stress-provoking belief, because it's not actually true. You shouldn't be happy all the time. There are times when things are stressful, and to run away and try to avoid stressful feelings is a stress-provoking feeling and a belief. So the first thing I like to do is to understand why I should feel shitty at this moment, and that dissolves my judgment, and that slows down the fight or flight. The second part I do is try to see why the other people and the environment is exactly the way that it is, and it should be, based on the values of the people at the time. In other words, snapping out of overview means getting out of your own victim mentality and making it all about me. Why did they do this to me? Why is he doing it to me? Why are you responding to me that way? It's about me, me, me. Getting out of that and seeing why the other person should be and should have reacted the way they did, given their environment, given what's happening, is the fastest way to neutralize your perceptions, even if your judgment is on yourself. Why should I be pissed off at this time? And when you give yourself the right, like for example, many of you are going through a breakup right now, and you're fighting it, and you're like, and when you really go, I should feel really shitty right now because my marriage is breaking up. I should feel shitty right now because my kid is sick. I should feel shitty right now because my child isn't doing very well, and I care about them. Once you remove the judgment, then you're able to see why things are exactly the way they are. That is such a useful tool to be able to move forward. And then when the time is right, a day later, a week later, whatever, where you can sit down by yourself and do this inner work, you can then find out the feelings, extracting the feelings, and then the interpretations, then the charge of the scene, then the reality when it came up, the charges that had happened then, and start to do the work, actually experiencing the feelings, then seeing the other sides. But when you want a quick one to just get you through, this is in no way a bypassing of the work, because nothing escapes actually going through the entire process, but to stop the judgment and to see why things should be exactly as they are and look in the perspective of all the people involved. 99% of the population of planet Earth does not have the ability to do that. And this is a a group of people who are working towards the development of this skill, and it's always the development. You will never get there. It's the training. It's like the world championship athlete is always constantly perfecting their skills. The more you perfect your skills in harnessing the power of your mind, the more powerful you're going to be in being able to be resilient and adaptable. Tom, thank you for the question. I hope that was useful. Mad props and love to you.